Can you guess this Blink-182 song from just the drums alone? Well, pay close attention because this is how Travis Barker wrote the perfect drum beat using 3 secret hacks that can help you become a better drummer in the process. So let's dive into it. In the song Always by Blink-182, Travis Barker created 10 perfect drum parts using 3 points of perfection. In this lesson, we are going to analyze these points so that you can learn how to play these incredible parts, but even better, you can use these concepts to make yourself a better drummer in the process. So Travis's first point of perfection is expert creativity. Travis knows that being creative as a drummer doesn't always come from the part, but sometimes it comes from the sound. So he starts this song off by playing a marching snare pattern, but on the rims of the drum. Just hearing this pattern on a new sound can really engage the listener. So the big takeaway is that the sound of the drum part can be just as important as the drum part itself. So my challenge for you is to take a pattern or a beat that you already know and play it on a new creative surface on the kit. In verse 1, Travis unlocks the second point of perfection, which is dynamic mastery. He blends the intro into the verse seamlessly by breaking the beat down and then slowly building it back up one element at a time. First, he starts with just 8th note rim clicks. Then he adds an obscure kick drum pattern. Then he adds a snare on beat 4 of every 4th measure. Finally, he adds a cabasa right before the snare hit that we can replicate by hitting our hi-hat. So if you want to master your dynamics like Travis, all you have to do is break your beat down and slowly build it back up for some very tasteful dynamic building. In the pre-chorus, Travis uses masterful cymbal kissing. Now, what the heck is cymbal kissing? Well, this is just a term that I use where you gently play the top of the ride and just little flourishes on the cymbal that add to the overall atmosphere of a song. Now this falls under dynamic mastery because he's bringing the song down into a new vibe before moving into the chorus. I've used cymbal kissing a lot in church growing up to provide a little bit of atmosphere, but even when I'm playing with I Prevail during those softer moments that just need a little bit of texture, a little note on the ride or a little cymbal swell goes a really long way. But of course, Travis makes it even more unique by throwing in quarter notes on the kick and random tom notes that really add to the overall hectic vibe of this pre-chorus. So the big takeaway here is that every section of a song doesn't always need a backbeat. Sometimes you can just add a little bit of texture and atmosphere and really let the vocals shine. Like in this section, Travis really lets Tom's vocals shine. Speaking of toms, let's talk about Travis's drum sound. Travis is normally known for having very bright sounding drums. But in this song, he does something different. Those toms are very warm and have a very short sound to them. He's using coated heads with tape on them that provide a new sound that we are not familiar with to better serve the song overall. So the big takeaway here is to try to get your drums to match the mood of the song. So if you're playing a song that's a little bit darker and moodier, you can tune your drums lower, maybe use coated heads, maybe throw a big fat snare drum on the snare. But if you're playing a song that's more upbeat and high energy, maybe crank your snare up a little bit more and use clear heads to get a brighter sound out of your drums. This will help you develop expert judgment just like Travis. But now let's move into the chorus. In the chorus, Travis uses tight simplicity. Now, most rock drummers default to just playing big open choruses on the crash cymbal. But instead of opening up, Travis tightens things up and uses 16th notes on the closed hi-hat. So Travis is using more notes to drive the chorus forward as opposed to more volume like most rock drummers. This is even more unique because it's incredibly common to just match the subdivision of the guitar player strumming. For example, if we pull up the guitar part, it sounds like this. So this is an 8th note strumming pattern. So most drummers would play 8th notes on the crash cymbal like this. So that beat is totally fine and it serves its purpose in plenty of songs. But the big takeaway here is that you don't always need more volume to drive a drum part forward. In the instrumental, Travis uses his expert creativity yet again. Any other drummer may have used this opportunity to coast through the section of the song, but Travis uses this opportunity to create even more melody. His use of melody here breaks up the beat and allows the listener to sing the drum part back. Plus, his use of the stack cymbal is a really creative sound for a slower paced song like this. What we can learn from Travis here is that you can create a full melodic drum beat simply by using one stack, cymbal, or drum. Now what Travis does in the second pre-chorus is incredible because he decides to throw in a brand new drum beat that he doesn't use anywhere else in the song. He's creating a complex melody using multiple different elements of drumming. Now this falls into the first point of perfection, which is expert creativity. So how can you create melody within your own drum beats? Well, first, let's dissect what Travis is doing to get a better understanding. So first, let's start off with just the kick and the snare pattern. After the kick and snare, just add in one new sound. Once you've added your new sounds, it's time to slowly build them all together. So the key elements here that stand out to me are his splash chokes, his open hi-hats, and his tom hits. I think when you lay out all of these together, it creates a melody. And that is because it's different than just a driving drum beat where you have 8th notes on the hi-hat. You have these broken apart notes that really stand out from the rest of the beat. Again, I think this makes any beat more creative because the alternative could have been Travis playing a normal groove that would have sounded like this. Travis has spent so much time building tension in this song by not going to those classic rock grooves that when he finally decides to dig into the crash cymbal, it is incredibly powerful. So what we can learn from Travis is to really be intentional about the parts in the song where you open up. Sometimes the longer that you wait and build, the more impact you can have in these moments. In the quiet verse, Travis uses his expert judgment by taking advantage of unused surfaces on his kit. At this point in the song, Travis has already created like 10 different drum beats. And Travis recognizes that this is the perfect time to change the overall sound of his beats. And the way he does this is by changing the main playing surface from the closed hi-hat to the floor tom. So when you're creating drum parts for a song, zoom out and analyze all of your drum beats. Are most of them on the same playing surface? If so, take the opportunity to diversify your playing surfaces so that the song doesn't get stale. For the outro, my dad Travis yet again uses his dynamic mastery. Most of the time, this is the part of the song where the drummer gets the loudest, but it's clear that Travis wanted to reserve that spot for the bridge of the song. Instead, no surprise, he comes up with a brand new drum beat that fits dynamically between what he played in the chorus and the bridge. This creates a brand new dynamic that keeps listeners hooked to the very end of the song. So the takeaway here is to be creative with your dynamics. Look for the parts of the song that would generally be the loudest and maybe play them quieter and play a melody instead. This can add a whole new world of creative possibilities for you. Now, contrary to popular belief, there are some other songs where Travis explores his dynamics in some incredible ways, and I made a full video about it that you can check out right here. Stay true.